Do these products look familiar to you? Are they in your cabinet? Perhaps your pantry? Well, today I want to discuss one common theme amongst these products, and that ingredient is sucralose. Today I want to discuss the benefits and the downfall of sucralose. I want to discuss evidence-based research and what sucralose can possibly cause to your body. Let's review and get started, as today's topic is a very important topic for all of you.
Okay, one last question. Do you ever sit down and stare at your stomach and look at that massive lump of fat and you just wonder, where did it come from? Why is that fat stubbornly existing? Well, I may have an answer to similar questions. Okay guys, so let's get into the topic of exactly what sucralose is. Sucralose is made from sucrose. And what is sucrose? Sucrose is formulated from fructose and glucose, which is also known as table sugar. Sucralose is a semi-synthetic sweetener, meaning it is man-made. It is 600 times sweeter than sucrose, meaning you only need a little bit of it for an item that you consume to be sweet. So sucralose and sucrose, they both work in the body. They play a part in the taste reward system, meaning if you consume it, you can become addicted. So according to brain imaging studies, when you consume sucrose, it is actually more rewarding to the body, all due to a specific molecule in your body called sodium glucose transporter. So this SGLT, it is more attracted to sucrose, meaning it's going to transport sucrose to areas of the body that causes higher temptation, higher addictive personality to sucrose or table sugar. In comparison to sucralose, we don't have the same addiction, so it's a little bit less. Studies have shown that sucralose, when consumed in comparison to sucrose, does not cause weight gain. If you eat foods with sucralose in it, you're less likely to gain weight in comparison to those who eat sucrose. However, even though these studies show that people do not gain weight with sucralose, there are harmful effects that came with it. Sucralose was actually able to assist transporting fat from different areas of your body right down to your mid-abdominal section, causing abdominal obesity. There were some researchers who did the study over the span of 10 weeks, and they were able to prove that brown adipose tissue, meaning the brown fat in your body, increased in your stomach. Now, later on, I'm going to go over why we need to have an equilibrium of white fat tissue and brown fat tissue. These researchers, they did the study on rats and found that brown fatty tissue was increased in the stomach, and then they ended up doing the same trial on humans. Similarly, they also had an increase in brown tissue fat in their stomach. So the result of the study is that even though you don't gain weight, you do have an increase in fat in your stomach. In support of this rat study that was done over 10 weeks, there were other researchers that tracked the same results over 10 years, and they saw the same, that it was increasing abdominal fat in a person by eating too much sucralose. So what's the big deal with having more abdominal fat? Well, that is exactly the point. Abdominal fat, or an increase in abdominal fat, has been linked to a lot of cardiovascular or heart diseases, as well as cancers and other diseases. So let me just circulate on the topic of abdominal obesity. So fat is approximately 20% of our body makeup. It is actually considered an organ in itself. So again, back to the topic of white and brown fat. White fat specifically helps supply the body with fuel when it needs to. It helps regulate the fat in our system, and it also helps regulate sugar, or what is known as glucose in the body. Not only does white fat help store fat in the body, but it also helps it move around and circulate, and it sends it to areas of the body that it needs. And fat also produces proteins and hormones. For example, there is a protein called leptin. It is produced by white fat. And if white fat does not produce enough of it, and there's a lack or a low level of leptin, a person can become more hungry, and they don't have that regulation in their body that tells them you should not eat anymore. And then brown fat, it helps the body generate heat, and it helps regulate the thermogenesis, or so they would say, in the body. But all in all, you need both white and brown fat to be equal in the body. When there's an imbalance, that's where we start to have problems. So again, fat helps with regulating proteins, hormones. It helps move fat around. Let's go over again some of the proteins and hormones that fat regulates. So again, leptin is one of them, which is the anti-obese hormone, and it's going to prevent you from overeating. Adenopectin, have you heard this before? This is a protein in the body that is seen very low in obese people. And because of its low levels, it's been linked to cardiovascular disease or high blood pressure. It's been linked to having diabetes, and it's been linked to weight gain. And then another molecule, angiotensin. A third of angiotensin is made by the fat in your system. If you have more fat in your system, more angiotensin is going to be made. And when you have too much angiotensin in your system, you have a lot of inflammation, which then again is linked to inflammatory diseases. So I've discussed how the fat cells can regulate so much already in the body. Let's focus on the liver now. there's a huge effect of an imbalance of fat cells on your liver. When you have more fat around your stomach, all of that pressure and all of that excess build of fat that is exerted on your liver can end up affecting the production of fatty acids, which can increase triglycerides, low density proteins, and very low density proteins. I'm sure you've heard of these before. When you go to your primary care provider yearly to check your blood, they always say, let me check your cholesterol panel. And then you look to your cholesterol panel and you see cholesterol, VLDL, you'll see LDL, you'll see HDL. Well, these are your primary fatty acids that circulate in your blood. The recommendation for triglycerides in your system is to be less than 150. HDL, they want it between 40 to 70, the higher the better. LDL, they want it below 100. And the very low density protein, VLDL, they want it way below 30. And again, what is the HDL? They say that the HDL is the good cholesterol in your body. So again, you want your HDL higher than normal, which is above 40. So the cause of having abdominal fat or excess abdominal fat, it builds up around your liver, and then your liver ends up uptaking this excess fat, and it ends up shooting out all of these LDL, VLDL, and triglycerides into your system. And then the excess of these fatty acids in your system, it ends up causing a lot of damage. So studies have shown that fat that's in the deepest layer of your stomach, which is almost surrounding your liver, your internal organs, you'll notice that you have high triglyceride and low HDL on your blood work. So all in all, having too much fat in your stomach is going to increase your LDL, triglycerides, and VLDL, the bad cholesterols, or the bad fatty acids. So not only does having high fatty acids affect your blood pressure and your risk of getting diabetes, it also puts you at a risk for getting cancers, such as stomach cancer, esophagus cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, gallbladder cancer, colon cancer, rectum cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, mouth cancer. Oh my God, it just affects so many types of cancers. So the reason is that high amounts of these fatty acids circulating your system actually causes these cancer cells to become increasingly sensitive. They become so sensitive, they want to end up becoming a tumor, which in result, these fatty acids promote tumor growth in your body. So wow, doesn't having excess abdominal fat just affect your body as a whole? It can literally wreak havoc on your whole entire body. So now that I've concluded my discussion on sucralose and abdominal obesity, would you next time consider what you buy at the grocery store? Will you begin to read your labels and eliminate sucralose from your diet? Perhaps you can start to opt out of sweet items that prove to be low in calorie or low in sugar, but it's actually really not because it has a sugar substitute. And the sugar substitute can be very harmful to you in the long run. If you have a waistline that you just stubbornly can't get rid of, doing more research on things that affect this waistline, such as sucralose, and eliminating it from your life may just be the answer for you. And I know that in the hospital, a lot of the times, or in the clinics, a lot of the times, patients who have diabetes, they're told do not eat sugary foods. What ends up happening is they end up getting sugar substitutes like Splenda, or they want to go to the aisle that says sugar-free. But lo and behold, these sugar-free items are actually causing a buildup of abdominal fat, which puts them at risk for cardiovascular disease like hypertension, worsening their diabetes because of all of the inflammation that's occurring in their body. And on top of that, it's putting them at risk for cancer. So I think becoming educated is the #1 force we can use to combat these money-hungry organizations that are trying to fool us into believing that we can substitute one type of sugar, because sugar is already bad for you, for a synthetic form, and that it's gonna all of a sudden improve our life. Yeah, maybe it's temporarily delicious and good at the time, but why don't just go out and eat some normal fruits that are sweet? Why not take food from our Mother Earth and give ourselves nutrition in that way? So I care about your health as much as I care about my own, my friends, my family. Let's make a change and eliminate the potential of these harmful substances from our lifestyle. We can take back control of what we consume and put in our mouths. And again, read our labels, go through your cabinets tonight, and go through all of the food items in your shelf that may be affecting your lifestyle. Because I know that healthy items are a bit more expensive than cheap items. And a lot of the times, cheap items, they have ingredients listed in their products that are a bit suspicious. It almost sounds chemically made. But with our research, you will begin to find that these chemically made or synthetic products, it is not good for us. I hope this research finds you well. Take care and have a beautiful day. Bye.